I want to move on to Starlink. So we have a couple questions here. Amit Rana on Twitter says, ask Emmett, when does he think Starlink can IPO? Which year and any time frame? So Starlink is the internet constellation put out by SpaceX right now. It's getting off the ground already. I forget how many subscribers, like 50,000, or I forget. It has decent
Yeah,
amount.
they're growing. Yeah, it's in
Yeah,
the tens of maybe might be getting closer to 100,000 soon. I don't know. We'll see. I'm
yeah.
sure an announcement when it gets that high. But yeah, I mean, I'm taking Elon at his word. I think he said a few years away last or something like
Hmm.
that. He's pretty genuine. Yeah, I think they have a long way to go to become profitable. But I know Dave, you've done deep dives on Starlink. You know that space as well as any analyst, in my opinion. I mean, what do you think about it in terms of how long it could be till it IPOs?
I wish it would IPO ASAP, so we can get in at a
Yeah,
at a best valuation. Once it like, I think Elon wants to, make sure it's profitable, it's stable, but then by that time, it's going to be a safer investment. Analysts, funds will figure it out, so you won't get the
hmm
big discount that you could get right now.
right
Um,
now with a company that's losing money versus a
Exactly.
company
Yeah. So
that's
it's like a
already
mixed
profitable.
bag. But yeah, I think definitely a couple more years at least. Martin Nielsen says, if Starlink is to be the cash cow for financing the execution of SpaceX's mission statement, wouldn't they want to sell as little stock in it as possible? And or how do you see it working out financially? So yeah, I guess the question is, if it IPOs, I guess will SpaceX keep most of Starlink shares and just sell some of that to over time, right, progressively, or like, I don't know, what's your take? Have you thought about kind of how that looks out?
Yeah. Um, I think they'll get to a point where you know, Elon will do a traditional IPO. I mean, he's voiced concern about the SPAC process, and I don't know why they do a direct listing. That's sort of the other thing. So I think they do it more of a traditional IPO. Um, and yeah, they wouldn't sell all of it. He'd keep a large portion. SpaceX would keep a large portion, or but they'd want to float it to the public and let investors get a piece of it. And hopefully it would be, hopefully there'd still be a ton of growth left in Starlink, but it would sort of be at the point where like it's maybe close to break even. And that's my thought, that they would sell enough for the retail public to get a piece easily, or institutional firms trading, public stocks to get a piece. At probably a very lofty valuation by that point. I could see it IPOing at 100 billion market cap, just at Starlink itself, 3 years from now or something like that. That's, you know, entirely in the realm of possibility, in my opinion.
Hmm. Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah. I mean, I think it's definitely going to be one of the most anticipated IPOs. I wish SpaceX would IPO too, but obviously they're not going to.
Yeah. If
I mean,
SpaceX
it's for
IPO
selfish
today,
reasons.
what do you think the valuation would be? I mean, I think the valuation of an IPO today would be closer to like 200 billion. What do you
Yeah, yeah,
think?
definitely. I think, especially because it has SpaceX and Starlink.
Starlink.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean,
It,
it's trading on the private markets closer to 100 billion right now, right? Something like the last rate or last I've heard is closer to
mhm.
100 billion on the private, but I think if it IPO'd, it'd be so much demand. It could easily IPO at 200 billion, but that's what people would buy it at, I think.
Yeah,
Something like that.
yeah. Um,
I mean, it's the premier space company, right? I mean,
I
if
know.
you want a
Yeah,
piece of space and it was out there, it's the obvious answer. Like, if you believe in space, that's the best place. That's the best company to own a piece of.
yeah,
And so
yeah.
it would just there'd be an incredible demand for the stock.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I probably have to disclose to, the audience here. I recently did make an investment in a SpaceX fund vehicle, meaning basically a fund that's invested into SpaceX. I've been looking at it for actually for quite a while. I had
Yeah.
opportunity over an year ago, but I felt like Tesla was like, I forget the stock price, but I felt it had some more room to appreciate, and so I
Yeah.
didn't pull the trigger on SpaceX. But this time around, I felt like I wanted to get in before just. It just feels like private market valuations are just all for all
All
these
over the
private
place.
companies. Yeah, getting bid up. So I wanted to get in before, SpaceX gets
Yeah.
over $100 billion market cap.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think you
definitely.
did the right thing. You got in at the right time. I mean, when I got in a year and a half or a year ago, I think Tesla was, 1/5 of the price it is now. I had to sell Tesla to buy
Mhm.
Starlink. I mean, to buy SpaceX, and I got it I think like a 38 billion valuation, but SpaceX is like 100 billion. So the SpaceX price went up, 1.5 times, 150%, but the Tesla stock went up 500%. So, I
Mhm.
mean, I am happy I'm diversified, but you did a good job of holding out and waiting for your Tesla to go up, the 5x before you got into the Starlink at 1.5. So relatively speaking, you got a good deal.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. Actually, I'm pretty happy that I waited, even though
Yeah.
SpaceX has been appreciating, but still
I
Tesla
mean, for us,
appreciated
it's
higher.
unique because
Yeah.
we're mostly in Tesla, so we
Yeah.
would have to sell Tesla to get into SpaceX.
Mhm.
Other people, obviously, it would be a no-brainer no matter what. But for us, looking back, you got a good deal
Yeah.
since you had to sell Tesla or you had to diversify out of Tesla potentially to do it.